Hello everybody and welcome back to Matty Reacts, the channel where we take a look at things we've never watched or listened to before, and we've got another treat today. We're taking a look at a song by Robbie Williams called All My Life. Now I did intend, I think, of reacting to the album on this channel, and then I had to take an enforced couple of months off. I think the album's out now, but I haven't listened to it yet. But this song, or the lyric video for this song, came out earlier today, and I really liked what was it called? The one, I think it called Rocket. I can't remember. But it was the one with it was the one from a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed it actually. So I wonder if this will sound anything like that, because that sounded like a bit of a pop punk song. And then he did that song. I also covered that song that he did for the I think, was it the Women's Euros or the Women's World Cup? I can't remember what that was called, but I didn't really like that. So I'm hoping this is a bit more of a return to form. So yeah, let's check it out and see if it is.
A wise man once said, use your delusions.
No.
I'd like to point out that man was me.
So it's not a return to that punk rock sound, but this sounds like, to me, almost like peak 2000s Robbie Williams so far. Like Road to Mandalay, It's Only Us, those kind of songs. Let's see if it carries on that way.
I'd like to point out that man was me. My life is based on a true story.
I like that line.
One of dreams, chaos and audacity. So go ahead and stage an intervention. Try to put me in a place I don't belong.
I've always really loved how much grit Robbie has in his voice for a pop singer, because that's essentially what he is. He's always had this sort of ability to put grit in his voice. Yeah. Here we go. That was a bit of an early pre-chorus stop. Okay. I think you can actually hear the Britpop influences in this one, I think. I said earlier it was very reminiscent of some of the earlier stuff he did, but I'm actually hearing a lot of like Old Before I Die in it now, and that was in itself quite a Britpoppy song. It was a bit brighter than Britpop maybe. Whereas this is slightly less bright, but I think this is kind of the midpoint between, you know, that initial sort of early solo Robbie Williams, and you can definitely hear like the Oasis influence and stuff like that on this. It's undeniable, and which is funny given the history that Robbie's got with the boys from Oasis. But you can definitely hear that there's a bit of a nod to it there. It's not full on. He's not stealing from them in any way or anything like that, but it's definitely a nod. Nice.
Mrs. Misbehavior. I've made friends with knowing that I'm strange.
Yep.
Masochistic, but I'm always entertaining. And I know I'll die, but I'll never leave the stage.
Just kind of cool in a way. Yeah, it's very interesting in a way that, you know, he's talking about his legacy, and I think, you know, for all the mistakes he's made, which are probably numerous, given the stories I've heard about him, he's always going to have this legacy. People will always know of Robbie Williams, at least for a very, very long time. And I guess that's kind of something that everyone wants. Everyone wants that when they're gone, people will remember them fondly, I think. And I think the best is an overstatement, but one very obvious way you can do this is by making some kind of art that will live on, whether that's being on stage, whether that's making music, actual art. Not that music isn't actual art, but physical media art. Films, movies, all of these things, they're the same thing. Films and TV shows is what I meant to say. And I think you must, when you are as pensive as Robbie is as a writer, and you reflect back on yourself and your life to write these songs, there must be so much to work with. Like, I think that this is a very clear song in terms of what it's talking about, and I think it's very relatable, even though most people won't relate. Like, he makes it relatable, because I think you can tell that he means what he's talking about. It's not manufactured. I think this is directly from within himself, which is always nice to see in a pop song, because sometimes it can feel a little manufactured. Not that I mind a bit of manufactured pop, but I think this is like really endearing as a pop song.
So go ahead, let's have an intervention. Try to put me in a place I don't belong. You tell me I'm addicted to the lie. Maybe I'm not wrong, but all my life I've been chasing visions to the edge of my mind. My oh my, if I can't be who I am, then man I'd rather die. And I'm alright, even if it's just another beautiful lie. Baby, I've been crazy all my life. I rise like lions in the night. You need to run, but I stay and fight. I am the darkness and the light, the light, the light, the light.
That's an interesting line, isn't it? I am the darkness and the light. Because on the surface, it's like, I don't need anybody because I'm all that is needed, the darkness and the light. But it's actually, I think, more about how he can cancel himself out. So, maybe he does a lot of things that he's not proud of, but then he tops that up with a lot of things that he is proud of, and a lot of good, and then the fact that he repeats the light more times than he said the darkness, I think that is him trying to drown out all of those things he's done that he's not proud of with all of the things that he is proud of, which is really interesting. I think, he's clearly had some troubles, but he's, I think one of the last big British male pop stars, which is why it was so weird to me when his film came out that Americans were only really only just discovering him because of the film, whereas like obviously in like the UK, there ain't many people who don't know who Robbie Williams is. Let me tell you that. It's probably Gen Z, if anyone, but there's not many people who don't know who he is. He's a massive name, and I think he's done a lot of good as well.
I've been chasing visions at the edge of my mind. My oh my,
Yeah, very good.
be who I am, the man I'd rather die. And I'm alright, even if it's just another beautiful lie. Baby, I've been crazy all my life. Crazy all my life.
Yeah. Such an odd photo, such an odd drawing, isn't it, with him with one of his teeth missing. I wonder if it's based off a real photo. Yeah, I thought that was, like I say, it wasn't going back to the sort of pop punk from the song that he released first from this album, but very much a return. When I said return to form, I meant a return to the pop punk that this album started with, which it wasn't. But it was a return to form in terms of kind of the callbacks to a lot of his earlier music, which was quite nice, because I would say that his music hasn't been like that for quite a while. So it's not like he's constantly making the same music over and over again. It's just nice to have, tip your hat back to where you came from sometimes. And I think this is a great song for that. Both in terms of where he comes from in terms of his own discography, but also the sort of time frame he comes from. When he started his solo career was when Britpop was on the up, and it's nice to hear a song that kind of slips those references in as well. Even though some of the acts from that sort of genre and era haven't spoken positively about him in the past. Yeah, really enjoyed it actually. I definitely have to listen to the album at some point. I won't be reacting to it because it's an old album now. I think it's at least a couple of months since release. But I will go and have a listen to it over the next couple of weeks and see what else he's got for us on that album. But yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you again for another reaction video very soon.